What is up, people, and welcome to another video that I'm pretty sure is going to tick a bunch of people off, but that's okay. As all of you know that watch me, I usually only talk about things that I feel I have a pretty good grasp on in terms of how I feel about the subject, right? And you know that I will never intentionally lie for views or to promote an audience or a thing or anything like that. If I say something, it's because I have the wrong information, right? And then usually if it's bad enough, then I'll even go back and say, hey, I was wrong. I have no problem saying I'm wrong. But what I want to bring up is what would be called cause and effect, right? And it's especially true now after the Karmelo Anthony case. So I don't know the whole story because there's a whole bunch of stuff flying around in the exact same manner as the Karmelo Anthony story, where people are just making stuff up, stating it as fact, then other people run with it, and next thing you know, everything's all convoluted. What I do know is that apparently somebody filmed a white lady calling a kid the N-word or calling a guy the N-word, whatever. That's what the video is, all right? The circumstances surrounding that, I really don't care. I don't. Just like I said with the Karmelo Anthony stuff, one teenager killed another teenager, and I'm going to wait and see what happens in court, all right? But that's not what this is about. That's not what I want to talk about. What I do want to talk about is the fact that when you look at what is happening, right? Let's go to this screen. So I'm going to move myself back over here. So this is what I mean by cause and effect. And I'm not going to go digging through a whole bunch of stuff because it would take me forever. And I already said it in my other video that if you look on places like Facebook, some of the messages that are in this GiveSendGo for Karmelo Anthony, there's some pretty heinous stuff being said. And I'm not going to dig through all these, but I did see a specific one. And not only that, there's just random money donations coming through like every 5 seconds or whatever, right? This wasn't that long ago that I looked at it. But it's going to be a perfect example of what I want to talk about here. And it doesn't look like it's going to... pop up. I swear it was there earlier. I should have just kept it up on the screen, but I had to refresh it, whatever, right? So Karmelo Anthony has raised $519,735. in their goal of 600K. And that goal has changed a couple times. I don't know if that's something that GiveSendGo does, whatever, right? I don't even give a shit that people are giving this guy money, or his technically they're giving his family money. But yeah, that's well over $500,000 for somebody who essentially committed murder, right? You can call it self-defense, you can call it whatever you want. Somebody else is dead, he killed them. Those are the facts. Now, there were a lot of people that had problems with funds being raised for this, right? And now, if you look on the right side there, now you see the effect. You have the cause on the left, the effect on the right. But what I was looking for on the left side for the Karmelo Anthony page was that you had usernames like I hate whites or hate whitey or kill whitey. And then there were a lot of donation messages that were just extremely anti-white sentiments of just flat out hating white people. I'm not going to go digging through this. That was one of the usernames that I saw before I fired up this video. If you don't believe me, you literally only have to go to Facebook and look up Karmelo Anthony's name and then find somebody that is pro Karmelo, and then look at the comments and the shares and the replies and stuff like that, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, the lady on the right, all she did was say the N-word. and she's got $414,566, right? Oh, it's up to $427,000. But in here, you have a lot of anti-black sentiment. And that's to be expected. One is a result of the other, and vice versa. Because when people were calling out the anti-white messages, right, on the Karmelo fund, you had people going, oh, well, this is a result of this, that, and the other, making excuses for the heinous shit that people were saying. You know, oh, well, you see, it's because of this, and because of that, and because of this, and every excuse in the book. Well, now you're seeing it on the opposite side, right? And now people want to get upset. And again, vice versa. You have people that are upset about this stuff on the right. You got people that are upset about this stuff on the left. Both go hand in hand. Both go hand in hand. I mean, she didn't kill anybody, but, you know, it's not exactly something I would give somebody money for. But it's the same bucket or type of people. You've got a bunch of blacks that hate whites. You got a bunch of whites that hate blacks. That's what it boils down to. And if you look at some of the stuff that I've seen that have to do with the Karmelo Anthony Fund, you cannot tell me that there's people in there that don't hate white people. At least not with a straight face. And you better have like 2 fingers crossed behind your back or something if you say that. Just like I wouldn't say that you're not going to see anti-black sentiment coming from this Shiloh situation. Right? So it's two sides of the same coin. And a lot of people get mad whenever you say that. Oh, well, if you're black, you can't be racist. That's a lie. Anybody can be racist. Anybody. Oh, well, because of this, that... No. That's progressive leftist bullshit. This whole black people can't be racist thing. Anybody can be racist. Anybody. And for those of you that want to start screeching about my privilege and being white and shit, I'm not white. And I've experienced racism. So, yeah, that doesn't hold water with me. The fact of the matter is that as long as stuff like this keeps happening and keeps getting pushed by the mainstream and by social media, nothing is ever going to get better. It just won't. It just won't. And there are plenty of people that are happy to keep pushing division. I'm not one of them. When people ask me about how I feel about like Israel and Palestine, hey, I think people should stop killing each other. Hey, how do you feel about Russia and Ukraine? I think people should stop killing each other. Hey, what about India and Pakistan? I think people should stop killing each other. You know, that's going to be my take when it comes to war. And same thing here. You know, as Americans, we like to get all up in arms about racial issues. And those issues would probably go away if we stop pushing them to the front. And there are plenty of people that are making money off of that. You can't tell me it's not happening. All you have to do is go look up any sort of activist, and you'll have people doing exactly that, grifting. I try not to use that word very much, but that's exactly what it is. It's a grift. Because you make money off of hate. You make money off of stoking division. And both of these things are proof of that. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some people on the Karmelo Anthony Fund that were donating because they genuinely believe, hey, this is self-defense. I feel like this kid needs money or help for his legal fund, which now we find that it's for more than a legal fund. Same thing with this. You got this lady saying she's been doxxed and people are sending her death threats, everything else. So I'm sure you got people going, oh, well, that's not very nice. We should probably help her out a little bit, right? I wouldn't have given money to either one of these. I haven't given money to either one of these. And I probably never will. Regardless of the color, right? If this were a white guy on the Karmelo side and a black guy on the help me protect my family thing because he called somebody I don't even know what white slurs I can say on YouTube. Probably none of them, or all of them, actually. You know, called somebody a saltine, right? Why would I give money for that? You have a lot of people doing it out of spite. And that's exactly what it is. It's spite. It's spite and hatefulness coming from both sides. And there are plenty of people that benefit from amplifying this shit. I don't even want to get too deep into the weeds on this, because then I'm doing exactly that. In this case, it's just me giving my opinion on what I'm seeing. Now, of course, that's enough to piss people off, because they're like, well, you have to be on this side, or you have to be on that side. No, I don't. The only side I'm on is my own and my family's. I give a fuck less about everybody else. And I've always said that, even when it comes to politics. No, you have to be on the left. No, you have to be on the right. You can't be, no, they both suck. So, yeah. It's a frame of mind, especially for me, where when stuff like this comes out, I will wait to formulate an opinion until I have all the facts and it's over and done with, right? The only time that I didn't keep my mouth shut was with Kyle Rittenhouse, and that's because I literally watched it happen in real time on a live stream. So when all this stuff was flying, I was like, that's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, that's definitely a lie. I saw it with my own two eyes. Same thing with the January 6th stuff that everybody was flying out. Both times I had multiple live streams going of coverage. And I've done that even through the BLM riots. I had multiple live streams open every night, which is why I have some of that footage that's actually kind of crazy to watch. But yeah, I believe what I see. And then I have the context. I don't believe some random dude on X or Twitter or Facebook or whatever that's saying, oh, no, this actually happened. Okay, show me some proof. Then I'll believe you. That's how I feel with the Karmelo Anthony stuff. That's how I feel with this Shiloh lady stuff. Show me some proof. I want some concrete facts. And then I'll say how I feel. But yeah, you got people getting mad at both of these. Well, sorry. These are both the same drops of water in the same bucket. That's a fact. And if you don't like it, well, tough. As much as I don't like Ben Shapiro, his facts don't care about your feelings statement are true. Because there's just the facts. What happened? Who was involved? Okay, now what? Right? And I don't think we're going to get anything out of the Karmelo Anthony stuff for as long as possible. They do not want that information coming out. Especially if it makes him look bad, because things are going to go sideways. Same thing with this stuff with this lady. This is a little bit lesser case, I would argue calling a child, if that's what happened. If she called a child the N-word, yeah, there's no excuse for that, right? You shouldn't do that regardless of what color they are. And, that's what I mean about pissing people off. There's going to be racists. White racists, black racists. Us Hispanics, we stay kind of in the middle, Asians are racist against other Asians, stuff like that. And people are always going to be mad. People are always going to be upset regardless of whatever your opinion is. So, just a quick take. I've been seeing it all day long. And all I can say is, if you don't like one, then you shouldn't like the other. I'm just saying. And they're both doing it for the same reason. One is a fuck you to the other. That's it. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, don't give either one of these campaigns money, please.